Members, we are now live.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting of the Finance and General Purposes Committee, taking place on Tuesday, the 12th of January at 6:30 and is streamed live to YouTube. It will be available for a minimum of 6 months on YouTube. So please be aware that footage from the meetings can be used in media broadcasts. I'm Jeanette Stevenson, Chair of the Finance and General Purposes Committee, and I would like to extend a warm welcome to members, officers and members of the public and media who are watching this live stream. Before we commence with the formal business of the agenda, I would like to cover some housekeeping issues for us all to follow. For those taking part in the meeting, could you only speak when invited to speak by myself as Chair? Keep your microphone on mute at all times unless invited to speak. And if you wish to speak, please raise your hand. Please bear in mind that all participants can see discussions in the chat function. Once invited to speak, please introduce yourself with your name and position unless you've already introduced yourself earlier in the meeting. If you're having issues with connectivity, try switching off your video and using the audio function. If connectivity issues continue, you may have to leave the meeting and rejoin to get a better signal. Please follow these simple rules as it will help us running the meeting as efficiently as possible. I will be pausing briefly when questions and comments are being invited to allow members to register to speak. Thank you very much. Okay, if we can go now to the agenda. James, do we have any apologies for absence?
I've received no apologies, Chair.
Okay. Do we have any declarations of interest? Moving to item 2. For any items that are on the agenda? No. Item 3. Procedural and appropriate announcements from the Chair. I don't have any announcements to make. James, I don't know whether you do.
Yes, Chair. It was just the most recent announcement following the last update to the lockdown, which was on the 5th of January. So just to give members an overall update that we've now restricted access to the Civic Hall to members of staff who cannot undertake their roles from home. So where staff can work from home, they must do so. Staff working from the Civic Hall should ensure they abide by the government 2-metre guidelines at all times. All meetings, internal and external, are now to be held virtually unless otherwise agreed with myself. And the use of the environmental service vehicle will now be restricted to 2 members of staff at any one time. And the only other thing that I have, Chair, with your agreement is to do the attendance check.
Yeah.
So members, just to your confirmation that you can see, hear and have a copy of tonight's papers. So Councillor Gordon Binney. You're on mute, Councillor.
Yes, I'm here. I've got all the documentation I need.
Thank you. Councillor Helen Clark.
Yes, can see here and have the documentation I need.
Thank you. Councillor Mark Davidson.
Yes, yes and yes, Kate.
Councillor Carol Hampson.
Yes, I can see here and I have all the documentation.
Thank you. Councillor James Kane.
Yep, oh, yes to all the above.
Councillor David Marshall.
Yes to all the questions.
Councillor Joe McMahon.
Yep, all confirmed here.
Councillor Ballinair.
Yes, I have everything.
Councillor Joan Nicholson.
Yes, I have everything, but it has dropped out once, but I have no idea why. But I was able to join straight back in, so just in case it drops out again.
Thank you. Councillor Jeanette Stevenson.
Yes to everything.
Councillor Les Timby.
Yes to everything.
And Councillor David Tully.
Yes to everything.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, James. Moving on to item 4, which is public participation. James?
Chair, I can confirm that there have been no questions received by any members of the public.
Okay, that's lovely. Thanks very much. Moving on to item 5, confirmation of the minutes. Les? Les, you happy? You're on mute, Les.
I propose that we accept them as a true and correct record.
Bala?
I second that, please.
Okay, do we have agreement?
Agreed.
Yeah. Everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Smashing. Thanks very much. If we can move on to item 6, Anne is going to present the accounts.
Hello.
Hi, Anne.
Hi. Yes, I will present the accounts. So I'll just tweak my machine. Sorry about this.
No problem, thanks.
Right, so what you should have in front of you is the schedule of payments and receipts for both November and December, along with the bank reconciliation and bank balances, and then a budget monitoring report for November and December, just outlining the current position and any kind of notes of concern. So I'm happy to take any questions, if anybody's got any questions.
Gordon, you have your hand raised.
Yes, all I was going to suggest is that we take these both together and propose that we take November and December accounts for payments and bank reconciliations together. That's attachments B through to I, and approve the payments of the accounts for the November and December, and note the bank reconciliations for November and December.
Bala, you have your hand up.
May I second that, please?
Is everyone happy with that?
Agreed.
Everyone seems to be nodding. I
Yep.
don't see any dissent there, so we'll agree that then. Do we need to do a recorded vote for this, James?
Sorry, Chair, I made a note to you that we did, but we don't. We don't need to do it on this one.
Yeah, okay. Righty-ho. Moving on to item 7, which is the exclusion of the press and public. And the justification for this is because of commercial sensitivity. Do we have a proposer that we exclude public and press? James Kane?
With part B of the agenda, please.
Thank you. And Mark, do we need a seconder for that? Mark, I think you had your hand up, yes?
Thanks, Chair. I'm happy to second that proposal, please.
Okay. Thank you very much, James. If we can move to part B.
And just get that shut down from YouTube. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Nicola.
Bye, Anne.